Hi, I'm Daniel Madison. Thanks for being here. Let's talk about magic. We cannot convince our audience that magic is alive, that magic is real, if at first we do not believe so ourselves. I believe that magic is dead. It is the tragically beautiful self-deception. To believe that magic is alive in spite of the truth, so that we can present magic as if it is alive, as if it is real. I always say it, it's been my mantra from day one: magic is dead. And I get criticized for it so much, and I think it's because people don't really understand, or they don't care to understand what I mean. And the rest of the sentence has disappeared simply because I want to inspire the creativity in people, the need, the mystery to find out what I mean when I say magic is dead, and what magic is dead means, what it actually means. Now the full sentence says, magic is dead. It is for the magician to convince the world to believe otherwise. Now for me, I never liked magic. I never did. In fact, growing up, my granddad was a huge influence on me, especially after the age of 10. Sadly, he passed away when I was 13 years old, but he used to show me magic when I was a kid, and he was a very intimidating man. By the way he looked, he was really big, and I always described him and remembered him using the word monster. Now, I don't use the word monster in a negative way. He was this big, friendly, protective monster, and whenever I thought of him, or whenever he was near me, I felt safe. I felt like there was a monster there protecting me. So it wasn't a negative thing. It was that innocent childlike mind way of describing him. And I once told him this, and he found it hilarious, and he took it as a huge compliment. Now, he used to show me magic a lot when I was a kid, but I was so scared to react and tell him how much I loved it. And by the time he passed away when I was 13 years old, it was too late to let him know. And I always regret that. I always kind of lived with that. But one thing that turned me away from magic was in being exposed to magic tricks and from seeing them. My granddad taught me a magic trick when I must have been about 7 or 8 years old. And in teaching me the trick, he made me realize the truth of magic, that it was deception. So for me, my granddad gave me the best and the first ever lesson that I really got in the deceptive practices and magic as deception and not as magic. So I grew up not really liking magic, or not really appreciating it. I had a fascination with sleight of hand. I'd seen him doing sleight of hand, and I always wanted to be able to do it. And it wasn't until I saw Steve Forte on TV when I was 15 years old that I decided this was what I wanted to do. Not magic necessarily, but sleight of hand, card cheating. It was a way for me. I saw it as a way to make money really easily, learning how to cheat at card games and just stealing, basically taking money off people. But for me, when it comes to magic, I've had this rediscovery over the past couple of weeks, this rediscovery of magic, this new love that I've found for magic that's come from a part of me that I've been trying to get away from, that I've allowed back in, and it's brought back with it this rediscovery for magic, this new appreciation for magic as an art form, magic as an art, magic as a real thing, not sleight of hand but magic. I had this dilemma going on where there's a serious problem when you learn sleight of hand. I've mastered sleight of hand. It's taken 20 years, and to say that I've mastered it is really, I shouldn't say that. I've spent 20 years practicing sleight of hand, and I've got to a certain level, a level that I think is good enough to qualify me as a teacher. That's my level where I'm at, and being at this level makes me sad. It kind of makes me, there's a sadness that comes with it, because when you perform magic and you use that sleight of hand for magic, one of the main goals in magic is to avoid sleight of hand heavy tricks, is to stay away from sleight of hand and use tricks that, here's the lesson, that I have a tattoo here that says ut cumque, and it's Latin for, it roughly translates to by any means necessary, and it was Bill Kalush who gave me this tattoo. back in 2011 in Portugal. By any means necessary. Good magic doesn't rely on sleight of hand. Good magic is all about the final effect by any means necessary. Whatever method you used to create that beautiful moment of magic is fair game, is good. It doesn't need to be sleight of hand heavy. How it works, the deceptive method behind the magic makes no difference, has no importance to the final effect. The final effect is above everything, is the most important thing in a trick. So when it comes to that, forget about sleight of hand. So I've spent these 20 years trying to master sleight of hand to get to a point where to use it in magic, the sleight of hand doesn't matter. Not only that, you need to hide the sleight of hand. You can't show it off, you can't demonstrate it. One of the things that I got thinking about with these new feelings and thoughts about magic as an art form, excuse me, magic as an art form, magic as a performance art. I once got booked to do this gig performing demonstrations of card cheating techniques, gambling, crooked gambling, card cheating, the whole. I had like a 40-minute set where I'd take my blackjack table and it'd be me doing these demonstrations, and for every demonstration it'd be golf claps. After the show had finished, after I was packing up and everybody was chatting, this kid was blowing up a balloon. There was children there as well. This kid was blowing up this balloon, and I just got back from Vegas with Danny Garcia and Dan White and JB, making the project they did with the balloon. I forget what it's called. I think they call it Pressure. I'll link it in this video, Pressure. So I saw this kid blowing a balloon up, so I took it off him, took my phone and did Pressure, pushed the phone inside the balloon. And I didn't realize that the whole room was watching. And the whole room, the reaction, the audience reaction was phenomenal. And it made me so sad and unhappy that I'd spent years and years mastering this craft that gets golf claps. And then I do this silly thing with a phone and a balloon, and everybody's acts like they witnessed a miracle. It really got to me from a performance point of view, from a creator's point of view, from a practitioner, but it taught me such a valuable and important lesson. By any means necessary, it's all about the final effect. The goal of magic is to give somebody an experience that they will not forget. You want to affect their day. You want to give them a memory that's going to last the rest of their life. It's not about you. It's not about the magician. Magic is never about the magician, and that's a sad thing. It's a whole different video about that. Magic is not about the magician, and that's where a lot of magicians F up, by making it about them. When you do magic, when a magician does magic, he is a vehicle. He delivers the experience, and then he gets the F swear word out of there and leaves them with the memory. If they remember him more than the effect, that's a sign of a bad magician. If they don't remember him whatsoever, it's a sign of a bad magician. The balance in between is very difficult to find. Back on track. It's all about the way you make them feel, the way you make a person feel. And I think I've taken it for granted all these years. The power that's in my hands, knowing magic, knowing how to do magic, and I've wasted all that time on sleight of hand and sleight of hand demonstrations. It's unfair to say that I wasted my time, because sleight of hand it allows me to perform correct magic, flawless magic that can't be seen through, impenetrable magic, because I know my sleight of hand's on point. So I don't feel bad about it from that point of view. I do wish I'd have spent more time on the art of magic though. So that being said, that's what I'm thinking. That's why I turned the camera on and started filming. This new passion, this new things come back from going back and confronting parts of me that I was uncomfortable with, that I tried to get rid of. He came back and he brought this with him, and I'm grateful for that. I really am. Magic for me, and one of the reasons why you never see me perform on film, or why I never perform it on film, I do magic almost every day. I will always find an excuse and a reason to show somebody a trick, and I will always leave not looking like a magician. They won't know that they've experienced a magician. I'm just a person who happens to be able to do this strange thing with the deck of cards, with a coin, with something that floats. As soon as you bring a camera into that environment, it has a label all of a sudden. It doesn't become real. Magic is real when not only does it have nothing to hide, but it has nothing to prove, and it has nothing to show off or boast about. There's so many subjects crammed into this one video that I want to talk about. I'm going to stop talking now, I'm rambling. I wanted to get it out of here and here on film because it might be interesting to somebody watching anything that I've said. I'm sure I've missed a few points that I need to pick up on, but I'll go back to it after I've watched this video. If you picked something up from this video, then that makes me happy. That would make me happy. The whole reason I'm still getting these thoughts and ideas on film is because I know that there's at least one person out there watching who will get something from this, and I'm just trying to share my progress with you. So thanks for being here. I do appreciate you spending your time with me. I'm Daniel Madison, and I will see you next time.